Welcome to 100% Footy. What a show tonight. The Manly Seagulls begin life under their new coach, Kieran Foran. We've got Danny Buderus in the house going down memory lane. Isaah Yeo is in the studio to talk about the Flying Panthers. Cameron Ciraldo of the Bulldogs is right here as well. But little did we know ahead of the fourth round of the competition, there was one hell of a storm brewing on Sydney's Northern Beaches.
The rain still is coming down. I've never seen weather like this in Sydney ever.
He's got as much time as he likes, and he's kicked it.
A big game here by the Roosters.
It's a big win for them here at Four Pines Brookie. Manly 9-3, and they have a very tough run on the road coming up. This was a real must-win.
You know, I've invested a lot of time in the club over the last 3 and a bit years, and if I'm not the right person, I'm sure Scott will tell me. I still believe that we can do something, you know, together as a group.
A short time ago, some breaking news from Nine's Denny Widler. The Manly Seagulls have officially sacked their coach, Anthony Seibold.
The phone calls I've made, I haven't had a confirmation as to who the new coach will be.
We announced last night that Anthony Seibold is no longer with the club, and we're pleased to announce Kieran Foran as our interim head coach for the remainder of the 2026 season.
We do really believe in Kieran. I think he is the right person for the job.
My thought process on it is you just walk towards the opportunities that are presented to you, and at the end of the day, I love this club. I've had wonderful memories here, and I've been asked to step in as an interim coach, and I'll do that.
It is a brutal business, this game of rugby league, our first coaching casualty of 2026. Great to have you with us here, the studio crew, pumped and ready to go. Paul Gallen, big hair, still struggling to get used to this. Cameron Smith, always great to have you on set. Alana Ferguson, Phil Gould, the top dog.
James Tracy, how you going?
Oh, ready and raring to go. Spotted 3 Bears jerseys in the crowd tonight, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. And the random South guy. Now, this Manly Seagulls situation, let's have a look at how it all unfolded, because it has been tumultuous, to say the least, in Anthony Seibold's reign, which came to an end last Friday night. Comes on board in 2022 with the club hoping for a fresh start. Of course, no official Manly ties for him. They miss out in the finals in 23, gets to them there in 24, and extends his tenure there at the end of that season through to the end of 2027. Early last year, though, Dally Cherry Evans on this very studio says that he's leaving the club at season's end. They miss out on finals footy with a 12-12 record. And then after an 0-3 start, all those matches played at home, the owner of the club in Scott Penn, as well as the club hierarchy, decide that enough is enough. And Kieran Foran is instated as the interim coach, with a decision to come later this year on the man to take the reins. Gus, your thoughts on what we've seen unfold on the northern beaches of Sydney?
Yeah, well, it's never nice when a coach loses his job. Whether or not internally people knew about this for weeks on end leading into the start of the season, whether or not they had a formula for the start of the season, how it would go, or whether they needed to change. It just seems strange on the end of a recent extension that they'd want to go to this length. It's rather ruthless, isn't it, our game, when it happens. But that's rugby league. Only the people inside the club really know the reason behind it, whether it's justified, and the decisions they've made since then to put Kieran Foran as the interim coach. We may never know the truth on the outside. Media can speculate, and people will make up stories, and other people will have agendas, but at the end of the day, a coach has lost his job and they move on.
A lot of the criticism, Alana, about the decision has been that it's just 3 games in, but does it feel like it's got a lot more to do with what happened at the back end of last year as well?
Yeah, but I also think that's part of the confusing part of the scenario, right? Like, why give him the 3 games? Why not do it last season? Because it genuinely, like Gus touched on it, genuinely seems like they were working their way towards that. And I think that's the most bizarre part. So, look, at the end of the day, they do have to move on, and they're doing it with someone who was a club legend, and all the Manly Seagulls can do now is get out and get back to work. But I do think the way that it played out to the public, at the very least, is quite a bizarre scenario.
Tough going for him in this NRL business as well. You look at him at South, Cameron, and you've gotten to know him too along the way. In your time at the Melbourne Storm, then to the Broncos, and now here to Manly. And it's just each time, and we all know he's a great bloke, but there's just something there, isn't there, in these coaching roles?
Yeah, well, it's been challenging to say the least, for Siebes' coaching career. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. He picked up Coach of the Year, actually, Dally M Coach of the Year at the Rabbitohs in 2018. So we all know he's got the ability, he's got the skill. I'm like Alana and Gus. The confusing part for me is why extend for 2 years and then only allow him 3 games into that extension, give him that opportunity in that short space of time to try and prove himself. Interesting to hear Jamal Fogarty come out today and speak about how he thought that the club should have waited a lot longer.
Labelled it harsh.
Yeah, harsh. I think it is harsh.
Jamal would have signed thinking he was going to be the coach.
Well, that's right.
It would have been Anthony Seibold that encouraged him to come to the club. He's just left the Raiders.
That would have been a huge part of him signing at the Eagles. There's no doubt about that. I would have thought at least half the season. We've seen teams before start poorly, but be able to find some sort of rhythm in their season and finish strongly and put themselves in finals contention. That's the confusing part for me.
They also weren't even diabolical on Thursday. Like, I thought they played... It was horrendous conditions. I actually thought they played quite well. They played with heart. They played better.
The Raiders only beaten by a field goal. 3 games in, I think it's crazy. I really do. Like, to sack a coach 3 games, as Gus said, we'll never know the true extent of what's going on behind the scenes, but if it's purely based on his 3-game performances and 3 losses at home, I think it's really harsh, is the word he used. I think it's crazy.
And Kieran Foran, 3 games into an assistant coaching career, all of a sudden he's thrown the ropes.
Yeah, it's very early. I don't know if it's the earliest one in history. It could well be, but like, he only retired late last year. He plays his last game for the Kiwis in October or November. So big job for him. It's a huge job. So look, he's got Manly at heart, no doubt about that. He's going to have the club in the right place. He's going to want to put the club in the best place going forward. But it's a big job. Coaching is a huge job. I mean, we've got a couple of coaches coming on next. The amount of man managing you have to do of staff and the players, it's enormous. So for a bloke who's never done it, who's never coached an under-6 team, I think it's a big job.
Gus, you coach.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, they come into these coaching roles. They know football. He would know how to play the game. He's a long-serving player and been very, very successful. But knowing football is just not enough in the head coach role these days. There's staff management, there's your player management, there's team management, and there's a whole range of other issues around boards and sponsors and media and social media and everything else that you've got to handle on behalf of others in the club. And it's a really taxing experience for people these days, and you've got to be able to deal with all of it. Like Anthony Seibold's had a few jobs now, and something or other keeps beating him to the post in every role. Something or other beats him.
Gus, if you could put your arm around Kieran Foran now, and going back to your experience, you're the youngest ever premiership winning coach at the age of 30 in 1988, and that you were coaching your teammates from the previous year.
Yeah.
What would you say to him if you?
Lucky they were really good players. they didn't take much coaching at all. What you need is a good people around you. For all coaches, I don't care if you're a coach of 30 years or a coach just walking into your first job. Your club needs to be set up to support the coach so that he can actually concentrate on what he's good at. And what he'll be good at is relationships with the players and the football, the actual football side of the program. Everything else is going to have to run by other people within the organisation. I'm sure they have to do the heavy lifting. Then I guess at some stage during the year they're going to make a decision on the future long-term coach. I mean, there's a lot of names in the ring for that. I don't know whether Kieran Foran is considered as a long-term if he happens to have success. I've seen a lot of interim coaches come in, turn it around, win 10 in a row, and all of a sudden they got the job. Is that a possibility for Kieran Foran?
Do you think he deserves to?
Well, if he comes in and turns it around, why wouldn't you? I mean, he's the one with the whistle at the moment. But the club itself has got to set itself up for supporting whoever the new coach is going to be. And in particular this season, they've made the decision. They've got to back him up and they've got to support him.
Matty Ballin seems to be the red-hot favourite though, Cam. Another at the Broncos, who you know obviously through the Queensland system as well.
Yeah, and he's played his entire footy career at the Manly Seagulls as well. So he's a club legend of that organisation. Has done a bit of time at the Broncos now. He's been an assistant coach with Billy in the Queensland setup. So, look, he's going along nicely. He's got a great football brain. But as Gus just mentioned, the modern coach, it's not just about football these days. There's so many different elements to being a head coach in the NRL. The good coaches, the great coaches, what they do well is they juggle those different elements. They have a great balance with the different elements. And they manage them really well. Like, there's media commitments, there's fans, there's boards, there's media. There's so many different things that you need to juggle, as well as the 30-man roster that you have to, of all those individual personalities that you have to get up every week and have them playing really well. So maybe Matty Ballin's the right man for the job.
Brace, I've got a bit of scuttlebutt too for the Manly job.
Oh, yes.
Nathan Callis wants to go for it. Nathan Callis is going to put his hand up for it. He's been the assistant coach at Parramatta for a few years. He's done a fair bit with the Kiwis over the past 3 or 4 seasons, so I'm pretty sure he's going to put his hand up for it as well.
Right, and you reckon he'd be a good head coach?
Yeah, look, I've never been coached by him, obviously. Don't know if I presume he's doing a good job there. He's been an assistant at Parramatta for a few years, done well with the Kiwis over the past couple of years, the Pac champs, so there's no reason why he wouldn't be.
There's never any shortage of applications. As soon as you... the body's not even cool. The body's not even cool, and all of a sudden they're arriving in the mail and email very quickly, applications to coach the side. So they won't have any shortage of applicants, but it's a big job. And the club itself has got a big job. You know, it's just not good. The club fails when the coach was sacked. It's as simple as that. It's not just the coach. The club fails.
The reason I feel
the club's
sorry
got to take
Seibold is
responsibility.
I actually... One of my bold predictions here on radio was that Manly could get the wooden spoon. It had nothing to do with Anthony Seibold being the coach. I didn't think that for a second. They're playing roster the way it's set up. I don't believe in their roster. I don't think he can do any good anyway. So the fact he's being sacked on the back of them, I feel sorry for him. I think it's wrong by him.
Do you want a job in the Nine newsroom as well, Gal? With all this
scuttlebutt
you got out there, mate?
I'm doing well.
Have you got the lotto numbers for Thursday?
Don't have the lotto numbers. No, I wish I did. If I did, I wouldn't be working with you every night.
And he surely wouldn't be sharing it with you either. Now, of course, Kieran Foran's reign as interim coach begins Thursday night at Redcliffe. Seagulls, Dolphins. Alana, what are we expecting there from him and the team? Bounce back factor? Dolphins need a win too.
Yeah, they do, and the Dolphins are a great side. Look, I think Manly will turn up for Kieran Foran, to be honest. Like, this is one of those things where you rip in and you play for someone that you truly respect. So, plenty of effort. I'm a little bit with Gal. I don't necessarily rate the Manly Seagulls football side as much as others. I rate the Dolphins side, but I think you'll see a tremendous amount of effort from the Manly Seagulls.
All righty.
Well, wait a minute. Just because they get a new coach, the players are going to give them a great amount of effort? Isn't that their job last week?
Yeah, it is their job. It should be.
I don't care who coaches you. If you think it's an effort from the players that needs to be extracted from them, then it's got nothing to do with the coach.
No, I agree. That's what I mean. I think the Dolphins is a better side, but I think they'll try their guts out.
Well, they should.
Anyway.
That's a non-negotiable.
They should.
Trying hard and not giving up is non-negotiable.
So who do you think's going to win, Dolphins or Seagulls?
Dolphins.
I reckon they're in for a real tough night.
Yep,
real tough.
Redcliffe too. Stay with us. You're watching 100% Footy and the Paul Gallen Comedy Show. Now, Cameron Ciraldo, he's going to swing by in just a moment. The Doggies coach ahead of that Good Friday clash with the Bunnies. Isaah Yeo, the co-captain of the only unbeaten team in the comp. He's live with us too. Danny Buderus swings by as well. Our retro guest tonight, we hear there's a great story about the 8th Immortal, and very soon 100% Dribble with the Hello Sport boys.
Coming up on 100% Dribble, we've got all the chaos out of the Manly Seagulls, a shirtless intruder in the North Queensland Cowboys sheds, the Broncos with a very exciting pre-game ritual, and Luke Metcalf post-surgery.
Do it now, do it now. Don't stop from the blast of people. Still speaking from the night that we.
Welcome back to 100% Footy. It is one of the highlights of the Rugby League calendar, the Good Friday traditional clash between the Bunnies and the Bulldogs, and it is on again this week. Cannot wait. Both teams 2 wins on the board after their 3 matches. South stretching the bye. The Doggies looking to bounce back after their loss to Newcastle on the weekend, but it always produces a bit of drama, and we cannot wait. Live and free from 3, right here on 9, in the first match of our Good Friday doubleheader on the wide world of sports. I'm pleased to say, coach of the blue and white team, the Doggies, the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, is Cameron Ciraldo, and he's live in the studio with us tonight. Great to see you, Cameron.
Thanks for having me.
I tell you what, bit to get through with you tonight, but this matchup, always a beauty, and that walk through the crowd, the fans outside, going from the hotel to the stadium last year, you going to do it again this time around?
Not sure. I think the fans loved it. I think our boys loved it, but yeah, we'll see what happens later in the week.
And I'm assuming the club's throwing everything at it to try and pump up that crowd as much as they can as well?
Yeah, it's obviously a South home game, but we want to see as many Bulldogs fans and members as we can get there, and it was a great atmosphere last year. I think we had 65,000, and if we can get a crowd like that, it's our players just love playing in those occasions. So it's a great stadium and awesome when it's full.
Yeah, it's not our home game this year, so it's up to South Sydney to sort of promote that.
Was it $10 tickets you guys put on last year?
Yeah, we did. We opened up level 6 right up the top and we had $10 tickets. Well, it was $10 on the edges, and in the middle it was like $40, and they went before the $10 tickets. Right. So it was just the opportunity to be a part of the great day on Good Friday out there, and I'm sure it'll be a great day. Looks like being fine weather. Souths are going good.
Have you made television with your coach before? Is this the first time?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Did you talk before doing this?
No, he didn't tell me he was on.
Oh, this is a surprise. This is a surprise.
I found out when I got here tonight.
Right, have you got any questions before we dig in?
No. I got a question. I got a question. Just on the back of what we were talking about. You finished playing and went through a fairly long apprenticeship before becoming a head coach NRL, and you're now in your 4th season. Can you imagine walking into what Kieran Foran has walked into right now after 3 games, you know, as an assistant coach? Now you're the head coach of the side. Can you understand the difficulty of that?
That's a good question, Gus. You said you didn't have it any time. No, but if anyone can do it, Kieran can. He's a very smart guy, puts a lot of thought into what he does, great character. So if anyone can do it, he can do it.
Let's go back to the footy that you just played. Obviously, ripping the Band-Aid off very quickly. It was a tough night against the Newcastle Knights. But I want to know a little bit more about the change-up that you did, bringing Critter in during the game. He came out of centre and swapped with Berto at one point. Does Stephen Crichton have a bit of a licence to roam before a game like this, or was it a switch-up that you did on the run because of what you could see out there?
Yeah, Critter's got a licence to roam. We need him with the ball in his hands. You saw the week before he came over to the right side of the field and got involved over there, and any time he's touching the ball, good things happen around him. So the other day, Berto took a bit of a knock, and we put him out a bit wider to just rest up and get his energy back and get Critter more involved, and then Berto came back in and exploded onto a ball and scored a try. So it was a nice little change up there, but the more we can get Critter involved, whether it's the left side of the field, the right side of the field, in a bit tighter, good things happen for our team.
Just on that, Cameron, you don't seem totally decided on your team at the moment. You are moving players around from position to position, centres to different sides of the field. Is it something that you practice at training, or is it something you're just doing on the run because it is early on in the season?
I think we're pretty settled in our team. I think it's been the same team for the first couple of weeks, other than Bronson going out. We're fairly settled, but we're always looking to try and win a game. So whether we make decisions during the game to try and spark something or get some more energy into our play, like we're always playing to win. We want our players playing to win, and we've got to make decisions on playing to win. So sometimes we'll change it up to try and change the energy of the game. The Knights were managing. Thanks, buddy. The Knights were managing the energy of the game there the other day, and we needed to change it up and do something different. And that did spark a little something in us, but. Yeah, we're pretty settled on a lot of parts of our team.
And just on your spine, you've got young Mitchell Woods comes through the ranks. He's only 19 years of age. Is he a genuine first? Will he be a genuine first grade? And if he's to step in the side one day, will Galvin likely move to 5'8" and you can move Burton to centres?
Mitch is a great young kid. Love coaching him. He's just footy obsessed, but he's 19 or 20. Like he's still got a little bit of an apprenticeship to go. He's been injured this pre-season, so we know he's going to be a first grader. We love that he's at the Bulldogs, but we're not going to rush him either. So there's no point worrying about those decisions yet. What I love, and you said we're not settled on our team there, what I love is we do have competition for spots, and we've got a reserve grade full of NRL players down there that are pushing for spots, and whenever you got that, it helps build a strong club.
We've got a couple of injuries at the moment as well. How are the boys travelling?
Yeah, good. Obviously Woodsy's in that category, and Leo Thompson's there, and they're training really well. We're hoping to see them in the next 3 or 4 weeks, but the guys, we've got enough guys there right now to do a job and play well this Friday.
What about your star fullback, Connor Tracy? He's having a wow of a season, and a bit of speculation too. He might be set to re-sign with the club. Any news for us tonight, and how much you're loving his form?
You probably got to ask us if there's any news there, but we love what Connor's doing. We love that he came to our club for an opportunity. He's just, he wasn't promised anything, but he's just taken every opportunity he can. He's put the team first with everything he does, and he worked really hard this pre-season. He came back and he wanted to take his game to another level. He's put a lot of hard work into both sides of his game, and it's good that it came out. I think he was man of the match down there at Canberra, saved us the game with that play there.
That one, wow.
Yeah, he's a very underrated player, but we love having him at our club.
He looks really fit and strong at the moment.
Yeah, he's trained outstanding this whole pre-season. He's a guy that had a lot of injuries early on, so there was a couple of years there where he didn't have pre-season.
Thanks to AI, succulent Chinese meal with the top dog. Gee, that's scary that they can create that. Has there been a succulent Chinese meal with Connor Tracy of late, Gus?
That's exactly what happened. Where did you get that from?
You know there's cameras at Canterbury Leagues.
Yeah, I do. There's cameras everywhere when I'm around.
You'd like to tie him down for a bit, I imagine?
Yeah, offer's gone out in the email. We've been talking to him for some months, actually. There was never any doubt about us re-signing him. We had Vegas to get through, and we had a big preparation into the game one down in Canberra. And, we actually caught up with his wife and his manager last week, and I sent an offer on Friday, so I expect to hear back very shortly.
Do you see him being your long-term fullback? Like, he's a player who can play anywhere in the back line, anywhere in the field, actually. He's a dead-set goer, but is he your long-term fullback?
the positions he's right now, like he's playing so well, and while he's playing that well, he's just going to make every post a winner. So a lot of things can happen in footy and down the track. And as I said before, I love that we've got competition for spots. I love that we've got our reserve grade pushing for spots in first grade. But the way Connor Tracy started the year, that position's his.
Cameron, can you give us a little insight into you and this bloke, the general manager at the Doggies as well, how the week to week, how the relationship works?
Oh, it's good. He doesn't sleep much, so he texts. He sends some motivational things through at 3 o'clock in the morning and wakes me up every now and then. But Gus has been awesome for me over the last 12 or 13 years. Went and met him at Gosford Macca's and he changed my life. He gave me a chance to go down to Penrith and finish off my playing career there. Then gave me a job on the staff there, and I don't know where I'd be without him.
Cameron, what about you had a bit of an issue down in Canberra? I've never seen a window explode, to be honest. How was your thumb? And did you punch the window or not?
You call me a liar.
Oh, well. Has anyone seen a window just explode? Just explode.
I was hoping Channel 9 kept the cameras on me then when I opened the window, but there's no footage of it. But it was a bit of a shock. It was 5 or 6 minutes left and just tried to open the window to get a bit of air in. It was getting pretty stuffy in there and just exploded onto all of us sitting there, the coaching group there. And required a couple of stitches, but we're all good. It was good to get away with the 2 points. That was the main thing.
Absolutely. We get the 2 points on Friday afternoon against the Bunnies, though.
I hope so. It's
a couple of South fans here tonight, just in case anyone didn't hear that at home. It was an emphatic no. What will it take?
Look, we're going to have to be a lot better than what we were the other day. We ran into a really committed Knights team who scrambled really well and deserved the win. They were outstanding. But we know we need to be a lot better in a lot of the effort areas, and I'm expecting a big improvement on that on Friday.
I can't wait for that big matchup. Before we let you go, I've got to ask you, because we're about to have Isaah Yeo on set, and the Panthers, the only team unbeaten at the moment, and Nathan Cleary, player that you got to know obviously very well working with him at the Panthers. Is he taking his game to another level this year?
I think he is, yeah. You know what he's like. He just, every off-season he goes away looking to become a better player, and he's certainly done that over this off-season, and the way he started the year is pretty scary for all the opposition, but they're just a team that knows each other so well. They've played together for a long time. They know each other's games inside out. They know what works for them, and they're really sticking to that. So it's a scary proposition, but we've got a lot of teams out there chasing what they're producing right now.
Yeah, they're on a roll at the moment. Cameron, great to have you in here, giving us insight into the Doggies. And you make us down the end. All the best on Friday.
Thank you.
Cameron Ciraldo, the Doggies coach, joining us here. Make sure you tune in for that matchup live and free from 3, but stay with us. The ladder match that night, the Panthers take on the Storm. Isaah Yeo hits us right here on the set at the moment. Willie Peters on live as the PNG coach. That new job awaiting him now. And Danny Buderus is here as our retro guest as well. Next, though, it's the Dribblers with their take on a wild week, both on and off the footy field. Stay with us.
You are listening to 100% Dribble with Hello Sport. What's up, punters and dribblers? We are back for another week, and what a week it has been in the world of rugby league. We're doing it thanks to our good friends at Good Day Daily Multivitamins. 1 sachet into water, it's the least you can do. Let's get into it. Tough week if you're a Sea Eagles fan. Lost the 3rd straight game at home to start the year, and now sacked coach Anthony Seibold.
That's right, Tom. And Kieran Foran comes in as interim coach for the rest of the year. Now, there's an old adage at Hello Sport, which is, when in doubt, go hot. And that's what the club's done. They've gone very, very hot. I would argue the hottest coach in world sport, Tom.
Young, tight, smooth, muscular.
Do we say tight?
Tight.
So tight.
Now, if there's any doubt about where the club is headed, just have a look at this guy, this staff worker. As the rain came down at Brookie on Thursday, the field was flooded. You know what happens? We get to work.
Standards, Tom. Standards, mate. I've got to sweep the whole field?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Consider it done,
Give me
coach.
a broom.
Put me in, coach.
Put me in. Now, speaking of tight and muscular, the Townsville Mayor has celebrated long and hard after the Cowboys upset the Storm at home.
Mayor Nick DeMeadow spotted shirtless in the sheds banging on a cowbell. I mean, God, I need to have a cold shower, cool me down after seeing that. That's incredible stuff.
I've heard of buoying the boys, but this is really buoying the boys. Have a look at Nick getting into his work.
I wonder if he jumped in the showers with the boys after that, Tom.
I'd like to think he did, Edward.
He definitely did. Staying in Queensland, Tom, the Brisbane Broncos have unveiled their answer to the Raiders Viking horn. Have a look at this.
electric scenes at Suncorp Stadium as the striking of the shoe got its debut. Are they real sparks coming out of that thing?
You'd like to think so, Tom.
Now, we're all very happy to see the return of Luke Metcalf on the weekend for the Warriors after a long injury layoff. His missus, however, took the opportunity to share a video to Instagram of a heavily anaesthetised Luke Metcalf post-surgery, where he was talking a bit of shape and giving some advice to some of the boys on how to play on the weekend.
And like Jacko Ford said, Sam was like light compass. Wade, make sure you're still, sinking defenders in. Chanel, make sure you take a wide force. Left foot step. Capes, chase.
You love to see it, Tom. Greatness never takes a day off.
Speaking of greatness, Edward, the great Isaah Yeo coming up on 100% Footy just after us.
Oh, Tom, another great Dubbo boy. Obviously myself, Matt Burton, David Peachy, Glenn McGrath. Yeah, he's from Narromine, but we've nicked him. You know what I mean? We've nicked him. Get over it. Melinda Gainsford Taylor, Tom. The list goes on and on. Dubbo, what a town.
The kid loves Dubbo, what can I say? That's us for another week. Thanks for having us. Go Manly.
They are our 100% dribblers, the Hello Sport boys, back with what happened over the past week on and off the footy field. And one man they mentioned, the Dubbo Demolition Man, Isaah Yeo, joins us in studio tonight. Yoey, great to see you as always, mate.
Thank you for having me.
Look, a lot to get through tonight, but crikey, the way you guys are going, the only unbeaten team, 4 from 4 this year. The Broncos, Sharks, Roosters, Eels and the Battle of the Golden West all left in your wake. This sort of form, I mean, you don't want to peak too soon, but you are on another level at the moment.
It's been nice. It's start of the season's always hard. There's no real form guide to it. So we just had a real focus on making sure we trusted our pre-season. That was incredibly hard, just like all the other 16 teams would say. But at the moment, it's bearing fruit. So it's while things are going well, you sort of don't want to lose that. But we've had some good results for sure.
Yoey, what's the main difference from the start of this year to last year? Why have you come out and started so well?
We learned some lessons last year, I thought. Sitting dead last at the turn of the season. We learned some really good lessons over that period. We were sort of able to take that through most of the season. Yeah. Most of the rest of the season fell short in a prelim. I thought we took some onus on that as a playing group. You sort of are where you are, and we probably showed us some of those bad habits at the start of the year, and they sort of reared their heads up in big games. So that was disappointing. We didn't lose many boys this year. It was sort of the top 17 pretty much stayed the same. No real surgeries or anything like that. So that sort of allowed everyone to have a really good pre-season under the belts. Didn't get many niggles out of it, which is nice. So it's been really tough, but yeah, like I said, it's bearing fruits at the moment, which is nice.
Did you do anything different in the pre-season in your skills training? Because it looks like you're a sharper footy side, though, a much more clinical footy side than what you were in the early rounds last year.
Yeah, I think it's an evolution of just being together now for an extra 12 months. We've got a new attack coach, Benny Harden, who's been outstanding for us. He's done a bit of our 20s, New South Wales Cup, so that transition there. He's been really good for us, giving the boys a lot of confidence. I just think everyone's sort of grown in confidence as well. It's another year under the belt, another year experience for the younger boys that have come through or the boys that are new to the club that were last year. And then a lot of just confidence we probably got from the season last year and how we're managing to sort of pull ourselves up off the canvas was sort of show that we've still got that in us. But yeah, like I said, you don't talk about what happens at the start of the year at the end of the year, but yeah. I'd much prefer to be in the position we are this year than last.
A warm welcome to our friends at Aldi too, coming on board to help sponsor our program here across Nine as well. We're looking this year with them at quality moments thanks to Aldi prices. And I've got to say, a lot of those young guys that got their run last year looking so much better for it, and that includes young Tom Jenkins. 8 tries in 4 games so far this year, Isaah. He's gone to another level too with this team, hasn't he?
I think you might have shortchanged him too, I think. Oh, does he have 10 tries in 4 games? Anyway.
Oh, there we go. I'm
not sure.
Oh, yeah, he had 8 before this weekend.
Yeah, so
scored another 2.
Yeah, shortchanged.
Keep him honest.
Yeah, I'll keep you honest with that. But no, look, he's been outstanding for us. He's sort of come out of the blue last year. He had an outstanding year last year, and I've made a really tough call in the back just as the semi started to play Paul Alamotti, who was actually outstanding for us in the final. So that would have been really tough for him to take, but the teammate he is, he copped that on the chin, went back to pre-season and was outstanding, and he's just about one of the form players of the competition. He's scoring tries for fun.
Yoey, I don't know if you watched 100% Footy last week, but Gus said that if he was standing in the same position as Jenkins, he'd be able to score all of those tries. What do you reckon of that? Have a go at him.
Probably not that one. But the one he scored on the weekend where he just had to catch it and fall over, I could have scored that one. I could have scored that one. Yeah.
Good in pink.
Yeah. Pink Panther.
He's been busy, our Gus.
Yeah.
Can they maintain this rage, Gus? Because that's going to be
absolutely.
Origin obviously looming.
They've been maintaining the rage for the last 6 or 7 years. I mean, it's part of the club and the woodwork there now. I want to ask you something a little bit off theme. We just interviewed Willie Peters, who's taking on the PNG job. You had him with the Australian squad over there in England last year. How'd you find him?
Thought he was outstanding for us. He was outstanding for the group, just his love of footy, the care he has for the players. Obviously, the success he's had at Hull KR, winning the the quadruple over there, won all 4. So obviously the success is there as a coach, but just as a person, he was outstanding. You could just tell he loved footy. He was a sponge. I thought the players were a sponge from him as well. Had some really good insight for us about the English side. But yeah, no, he's outstanding. So look forward to see how he goes over there.
Of course, you were the Australian captain. Can you go back another decade and say, pinch yourself and say, like, can you believe where your career has taken you to all those premierships and captain of your country? And now coming into a World Cup to lead Australia into the World Cup. I mean, it's been a pretty special experience for you.
Yeah, just ridiculous, to be fair. It's gone way beyond my wildest dreams. Obviously, I was very thankful for you at the time at Penrith. You gave me some wonderful opportunities, trusted me probably before I trusted myself. And I couldn't imagine the position I'm in at the moment. So yeah, I'm loving every second of it. I love my footy, loving the group I'm with. And yeah, still got a little bit to go yet, I think.
Are you Dubbo's greatest ambassador ever? Greatest ever ambassador? Birdo thinks he is.
Yeah, Birdo. I'll be biased. Andrew Ryan was my favourite. I'll still say him.
They've produced some great talent over the years, haven't they?
It's not much to do out there other than play sport. Rugby league's the main one. So.
Friday night, straight after Bunnies Bulldogs, you've got to take on Melbourne. And very rarely do we see them lose back-to-back matches, but it's the case now. They'll be looking to make a statement against the old foe in you lot.
Well, I hope they lose 3 in a row. But yeah, no, we've had some wonderful matchups over the years. It's been going on for a little while now, but I think they've probably had the wood on us for the last sort of 5 games. I think that they're 4 out of the last 5 against us. And we said, we want to make amends for that. We understand that they'll be pretty dirty with the loss there, particularly against the Cows last week with the second half slip up. So we'll understand we'll get their best, and it's always a wonderful challenge against them. But it's a really good rivalry, but there's a really healthy respect there for their team and organisation. So we look forward to it.
What about for your team at the moment? You've played some really quality games and up against quality sides as well. What are you looking at during the week to improve?
Yeah, well, each week's different. I thought Roosters, we started poorly. We managed to sort of manoeuvre our way through the game there, and our attack probably helped our defence more so than defence helping our attack. I thought we started really good against Parramatta. We sort of just had little lapses, particularly in that second half, and the game was sort of done, and we weren't ruthless enough. So the start's important. The start's important against any side, but particularly against the Storm. So that's probably the challenge for us there. But look, it's still early days. Like, our best footy's still in front of us. There's still 23 games or something to go, like 23 rounds to go. So
good.
Still a while to go yet. But that's all we're trying to do at the moment. We're trying to improve, be the best version of ourselves, and hopefully we can do that on Friday night.
Nathan, top of the Dally M medal count at the moment. He told you to start dropping a few balls late in games just to keep him up there?
No, he's deservedly so up the top there. He's been outstanding for us. He was outstanding for us again on the weekend, and I certainly love to see him holding that up at the end of the year. That means we've had a good season.
He certainly deserves one, no doubt about that. Isaiah, we can't wait to be at CommBank Stadium on Friday night. Panthers and the Storm, we'll catch you there, mate. Isaah Yeo joining us here tonight. 100% Footy is what you're watching. Great to have the Panthers co-captain here in the studio. Stay with us in just a moment. We're one-on-one with Tyran Wishart after his move confirmed to the Perth Bears in 2027. Willie Peters swings by to talk about his new gig as a PNG coach, and Danny Buderus goes down memory lane with us as well. And a reminder, it's a massive weekend of FA Cup quarter-final action coming up between Man City and Liverpool. It's live and exclusive on Stan Sport.
FA Cup tie with plenty of history.
No doubt you'll be so hungry to finish your time in the Storm jersey on a high. How did that conversation go with your teammates when you let them know that you're heading over west?
Yeah, I was so nervous telling them. It was a tough decision for myself, but it went way better than I thought. Telling all the boys and coaching staff and all the management, they were actually behind me, and from myself and them, there was obviously a bit of sadness and everything, but it's always talked about it. You know, Melbourne, in a way, you sort of share the same experiences being away from home and things like that. So yeah, having gone through that and made the friends that I have, it'll be tough to leave, carry those friendships on, and I feel like I'm going to do that.
Wishart now, he's pierced through the defence for Melbourne.
When you go to the Perth Bears, you're going to be part of a foundation team. Are there any lessons or any of the role models you've had at Melbourne that you want to take with you?
Oh, there's so many. Obviously, you know, the standards that Craig drives, not only, you know, to do with football, but you hear of, you know, former players saying that they take advice that Craig gave them for football and use it for their everyday life. So I think the way he drives effort and, you know, trying your hardest, not letting your team down, definitely take that with me. And then pretty lucky to, you know, be living with our captain as well, and got good relationships with all the rest of the, you know, the leadership team. You know, they probably don't know it, but I've learned a lot from them, and, you know, replicate a lot of the things they do, while also, you know, fitting it into my own personal game.
Wishart, right foot step, puts it over to score. Gone.
Pretty handy signing for the Perth Bears, and don't the fans love it? Great start. Tyran Wishart there with Marley Silver, one-on-one, giving an insight into how he's made that decision with his fellow Storm teammate Nick Meady. You grew up with Tyran as well too, Alana?
He's a champion kid. It's still a bit bizarre to me to see him as like a grown adult playing in the NRL, but yeah, you got one of the good ones over there, Brace.
Great signing. Well done to Mel and the team on that one. Now, the Melbourne Storm, Cameron, today, some news. Tui Kamikamica, one of your former teammates, we hear that he's last night, middle of the night, suffering a suspected stroke and ending up in hospital.
Yeah, really scary. Very scary. We know these conditions happen to a lot of people every day, but when it happens to someone so close to you, it does make it a lot more worrying. I have spoken with Tui very briefly today. I sent him a text just to make sure that he was okay, and sending our thoughts to him, and he replied back and said he's feeling much better. Shared a text message with Frank Panisi as well, GM of football at Melbourne Storm. He said he's in great care down there with all the medical professionals. He's a lot better now. He's back in his ward. He's sitting up in bed and feeling much better. But it's a slow but steady path back.
So he responded to you personally?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Yeah, that's a great sign. Yeah. So I sent the text to him originally, just not knowing if I'd get a response at first, Gus, but just wanted to shoot that off.
Oh, that's pleasing.
Followed up with Frank, but yeah, got a text back from Tui, so that was a great sign.
Well, we send him a big cheerio from all the team at NRL Online, the Wildwood Sports family. Well said, Cameron, to Tui and his family. All the best. I hope to see him back out in the footy field very soon. And in just a year and a bit, we're going to be seeing the PNG Chiefs run out as the next franchise following the Perth Bears, and they had the big announcement late last week that Willie Peters would be coach. A great stint with the Kangaroos, doing amazing things in the UK Super League, and I'm pleased to say the man that'll be at the helm of PNG in Port Moresby joins us on the show tonight. Willie, great to have you here, mate. Congratulations on the announcements and everything you've been achieving so far. How's it sitting with you at the moment, all the way over there in the UK?
Thanks, Brace. Yeah, really excited. Great opportunity to be the head coach of the Chiefs. Look, it was a decision that my family and I had to make probably over a 5-week period, a lot of in-depth conversations. But what got us is just the unique opportunity to be able to start, help build a culture, build a roster, build a staff, and essentially, make the PNG people proud of their rugby league team, because they're fanatics over there. They're crazy about their rugby league. They're family orientated, and they're two values that I hold close to my heart as well.
Willie, congratulations on the job, mate. You just mentioned how mad they are for rugby league over there. My question is, how are you going to balance the want for short-term success when you've got to build a club and have long-term stability? I mean, you know, the fans over there who want short-term success, the government's going to want short-term success. Everyone's going to want to see them succeed early on. But you've got to try and build a club, as you said.
Yeah, look, we want to start. People talking about, we compete in the first couple of years. The aim is to make sure it's non-negotiable for me to be competing that first year. we don't have a player signed yet, so we can't say how good or bad the roster is. That's obviously for you guys to look at, and decide when we build that roster. But when we start our pre-season, we're starting that pre-season to be competitive as a non-negotiable. Then what does success look like? It's many factors. For us, as I said, our aim will be to make the people of Papua New Guinea proud of us, and that's going to be through on-field performances, but also what we're doing in the community. Look, we need to get great people involved. I'm a massive believer that people talk about culture. It's great people sort of behaving a certain way. So there's been a fair bit of talk around the tax-free dollars. Look, you'd be lying if you said that wasn't going to be an attraction to people. But essentially, my decision, was far bigger than that, and that's proves that with my family coming over, my wife coming over. So we're making sure that when we do sign players and staff, that it's bigger than tax-free dollars, because this team is much bigger than it's. As I said before, we've got a responsibility to the people of Papua New Guinea and doing them proud. So we need to have the right people involved.
Hey, Willie, congrats on the announcement. You spoke about this being a unique opportunity, and that it is. We're moving into sort of uncharted waters here. What excites you most about being announced as the head coach of the PNG side?
Thanks, Cam. Look, I think, as I say, mate, representing the people of PNG, and it's a country. It's not a town. Where I'm in Hull, there's 2 teams in the city here. Naturally in Sydney, there's a number of clubs there. We're representing a country and people that absolutely love their rugby league. So we can unite a country and have a positive impact. So that really appeals to me. People are going to talk around the challenges. Look, there's the challenges in every job you get. Any opportunity you get in the NRL has its challenges. So for me, I love bringing people together. It's an important part of value that I value in my coaching. So living together will have its challenges. But look, we can't. I have no excuse not to be the most connected team in the competition, because we're living with each other every day, and we need to become a family. So looking forward to that side of things as well.
Congrats, Willie. Look, I'm along with everyone. We're very excited to see you guys in the competition. Now, you've set the bar pretty high, because apparently your top few people that you want to poach are Cameron Munster, Isaah Yeo and Nathan Cleary. I mean, I'm not even going to ask you why.
Tax-free dollars.
3 from 3? Yeah, right.
I'm already experiencing how the media sort of grabs things, because we can't talk to anyone until November 2, so November 1. So those guys absolutely would be on any coach's radar. Be a dream. So I'm no different there. But look, at the end of the day, what we want to do is get people that want to come to the club and want to be part of the Chiefs. We certainly don't want to be going to players and staff, if they're not in it for the right reasons. So for me, I want to, what's the focus initially? It would be to pull together the best leaders we can. I think that's really, really important, making sure that we've got a strong leadership group. That'll be a key sort of, a factor early on, making sure we get that right first, and then we'll build a squad off the back of that. So, naturally we can't speak to players who are on contract in 27, but players that are off contract now, we can certainly start having conversations.
Willie, has there been any discussion at all? Because I actually spent a fair bit of time in Papua New Guinea around the government, and they've had a desire to have an NRL team for the last 20 or 30 years. But it was also to unite the country and to see their own people, their own players playing in the NRL, Papua New Guinea represented by Papua New Guinean players. In your talks with PNG, has there been a discussion about Papua New Guinea players getting the opportunity to wear these colours and be a part of this team?
Yeah, Gus, absolutely, mate. We want to, what you put together at Penrith, essentially, that's what I've been talking around. When the team won the competition, the first competition at Penrith, it was built on all the younger players that you brought coming through. So, we're no different. When I took the role on, the role that I was looking at the NRL was to make sure that there's pathways, there's a pathway system, and there's a pool of players you can choose from. Because that's the area where I'm at now in Hull KR. It's an area that we need to improve, and to have sustained success, you need to look within first. You know that better than anyone. So for us, the dream will be to one day have nearly every player represent the Chiefs who were born in Papua New Guinea. But look, I'm not going to put a number on that now in terms of the first year or second year. naturally we're going to be looking at PNG players first, but also, mate, we need to win rugby league games, and we need to make sure that they're ready to to cut it in the NRL. So if they're not ready, that first year, then we'll pick players who we believe are. But as I say, we want to replicate the model of Penrith and the Rabbitohs and clubs like that, of bringing as many players through as we can, because that's certainly what it's about for the people over there.
Willie, great to have you on the show. Congratulations on the gig. Feel free to give your general manager of football as much flack as possible from us, mate. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
There he is, Willie Peters, the brand new coach of the PNG Chiefs, set to come into the competition in 2028. Stay with us right after the break. Benzi's here, our retro guest tonight. Can't wait to have a chat with him. Got to hear this story about the eighth immortal. Back right after this. Well, this bloke, Danny Buderus, how do you describe him? Newcastle Knights legend, Origin champion, Kangaroo, Hall of Famer. There's nothing he hasn't achieved on the rugby league field, and he just happens to be the nicest guy in rugby league as well. Welcome to 100% Footy. Danny Buderus tonight, our retro guest. Great to see you, Benzi.
Great. How are you, mate?
Very well. Very well. Good. Mate, looking forward to going down memory lane with you. But before we do, the Knights over the Doggies on the weekend. Congratulations to you, mate. I know that one, considering what you guys are up against, two of your star players on the sideline watching on at the moment, that one must have felt good.
Yeah, it was a really gritty performance. The boys are up and about. They're excited to be bouncing into training every day. Obviously, not just the wins and the start, but the connection that they've got at the moment. I think Vegas was really good for us as a club. We got over there early and had a good result, good performance, and we sort of brought that home. Had a hiccup against the Warriors last week, but we were good the other day. We were gritty. We were up against a bit, 12 men, and had to save a lot of tries, as Ciro said before. But it was a good performance.
Yeah, they genuinely look like they're working really hard for one another, but enjoying it too at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of, the game has changed a bit this year. There's up tempo, and the way they're scrapping to save tries is just as important for us as scoring them. So they're really enjoying the game, and we've got a big game up there on Sunday, mining round against the Raiders.
The Knights have found some resilience. I feel in years gone by, every time you've been tested, you just fall over. But against the Cowboys, they come back over here in Vegas, and you got away with that. The Dogs on the weekend came back a years, but you got away with that again. So to me, that only comes from training hard in the pre-season.
Yep, yeah.
Did you train hard?
Yeah, it was good, Gal. We had a lot of games, a lot of simultation, a lot of deceleration, acceleration games. We had a lot of, instead of just running for minor sort of stuff, we did sort of specific training drills around games and where the game's heading. So as you see now, we struggle with just executing our passing last year anytime we're in the clear. But now we're pretty comfortable on sort of any sort of break, and it's great that they're scoring some points at the moment. It's really good.
Benzi, time to get on to you. Our tab top three tonight. We're going to look back on the three main highlights of your illustrious rugby league career. Starting at 3, your Kangaroos debut, just how much did that mean to you to put on the green and gold? Well, obviously, with some great mates there too.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think every kid's, pinnacle for the game has got to be pulling on the colours of your country. It was mine, and Origin for me was just the pinnacle of the game from a performance point of view. But to play for Australia and say also captain Australia, it was fantastic. And we played up there in Papua New Guinea actually on the tour. I think it was 10-6 at half time, and then I think we toured 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. There's a lot of footy getting played overseas at that time, and I was very lucky to be involved in it.
So your Kangaroos debut sits at number 3. Number 2 for you, we just saw a shot of Joey there playing with you in Australian colours, but that 2005 series for the Blues to come back from a game down, this match at then ANZ Stadium, wow.
Yeah, the Messiah comes back, the eighth immortal. Well, I still remember it was one of the greatest training sessions I think I've ever been involved in, seeing him come back. He was sitting at the front of the bus, Sticky was going through the game plan, and Joey being Joey, yeah, got it, yeah, sweet, yeah, got it, stick. And then we've just gone out and just iced this training session. And he was just so confident coming off a knee injury, and the way he performed that night was just phenomenal. And, he came back for game 2 and went out for game 3 and got it done.
What was it like, that connection, knowing that you had what you had from club level and taking that and elevating it on the State of Origin stage?
Yeah, well, I wasn't even captain of my club. That was the thing. So luckily enough for Gus, for me, that Gus made me the captain back in 04. But, I got to do that. Freddie came back in 04 and he came back to help me in a few different areas, and I learned a lot of Fred. And then got to captain in 05 and had some good times there and had some good performances.
Did you enjoy your time hanging around this bloke?
I love the Gus. We used to go at as soon as we get into camp. We used to go
telling origin stories.
We used to go up into Gus's room, the whole team, right? I'll never forget it. So we're all crammed in Gus's room, and he starts on as only Gus can with his storytelling about Origin. Yeah. And he looks at you like he's challenging you, and the room is this small, right? Because he's challenging you, and then he looks away and you just breathe, and then he comes back at you and challenges you again. And he had that ability to, by the time you walk out of that room, you're ready to play, and it's only a couple of, we've still got probably a week and a half to go, but. One day we went drinking on the Monday, and we meant to train on the Tuesday, but Gus goes, "You're not ready yet, are you?" We said, "Oh, what do you mean?" He goes, "Let's go to Ravisi's." So we went to Ravisi's, and next thing there was about 50 tequila shots around, and the next day we've woken up obviously feeling like we probably should train. Gus goes, "You ready to train?" We said, "Let's go."
Done.
So and then we launched into our training.
And got the job done, as you so often do as the ultimate professional. And your
Coaching 101.
The number one for your career, 2001. Joey talks about, he's got his 2 premierships. He says this is the highlight for him. Obviously, so special to you and that amazing town that is Newcastle.
Well, look, in '97, the Knights had their first premiership, and every sort of waking hour when you're training to be an NRL player, you want to win a premiership, and because it just means so much to so many people in our community. In 2001, I was just craving another, and after '97 and what they went through. So I don't think they partied like '97, but '01, we had 15,000 people back there at 2 a.m. in the morning, and it meant a lot to the people of our town. And one thing about Newcastle, when the town's going good, the team's going good. When the team's going good, the town's going good. So
yeah, no doubt about that. Well, long may it continue that form we saw on the weekend, Bedsy. Great to have you in here, no doubt we'll be doing this again some other day, mate. Well done to you.
So, Brace. Thanks, mate.
The great Danny Buderus joining us here on 100% Footy. Stay with us. Our predictions for the Easter long weekend of Footy right after this short break. On your Betsy. Alrighty, Easter long weekend of Footy tips. Gal,
Finn, South, Penrith and the Raiders.
Alana.
Dolphins, Rabbitohs, Panthers and Raiders.
Gus.
Dolphin, Panther, Raider.
And of course, your doggies as well. Good Friday game, can't wait. Thank you, team. What a show tonight. See you next week. Bye for now.